me, Lisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I have a fun video for you. I am standing in my craft room, and I have a wonderful craft room that I love so much. But in 2022, one of my goals is to begin moving my craft room down to our basement. The idea is that I want to create a space that I can teach in-person classes in, that I can kind of expand what I do on my YouTube channel, and I think that moving to the basement is going to allow me the space to do that. So as I start dreaming about what I want to do in my future craft room, I thought it'd be fun to take a trip to IKEA to kind of check out what is available and what I am kind of dreaming of putting in my space. I would love to hear your opinions below on what you like, what you see. Just let me know below. I want to hear everyone's thoughts on what I should do in my basement space. Of course, as I begin the renovation process and begin designing that space, I will take you guys along on the journey. But as of right now, I just want to go get some ideas. Let's go. I am excited to go to IKEA to gather some ideas. Just like in my current craft room, I will have a mixture of vintage and thrifted items as well as some really functional IKEA storage. I happen to think it's one of the best ways to really organize a space on a budget. So we're just going to start exploring some of the possibilities, and we're going to start out with some basic storage choices. Now I don't need this section quite yet, but as soon as I decide on my larger storage pieces, then IKEA is a great place to come for some smaller pieces that fit. Of course, you want to gather up like items together. So this is going to be an interesting space. It is going to be my craft space. It's going to be my filming space, but I also want a space where I can teach live classes and perhaps teach some online classes in a live capacity. So it's going to serve some different functions. And so I'm looking for things that are both beautiful for creating a really inviting space and really functional, especially if I have to divide up some of my supplies into smaller groupings. So first of all, Alex drawers are really economical. They're very, very affordable, and I feel like they're made for crafters just because of the shallowness of the drawers. So I'm considering whether or not I could do almost a whole display of these Alex drawers. They would be great for holding some of the smaller craft items, and they even have these long lower ones, which I think are fabulous for larger paper pieces and things like that. So we'll see. This is definitely on my list, but I kind of wanted something that had just a little bit more character. So we'll see what else I find. I feel like wall cabinets are going to be a must, and I'm wondering what you all think of this kind that doesn't have handles. So you just push them to open, very streamlined, very modern looking, and so they're pretty unassuming, but I mean, it really maximizes storage. I like that you would also have a workspace underneath feasibly, but yeah, not a lot to those. All right, here are some pieces that I'm really loving. This is the Hofsta line, and it has a little bit more character, and I'm wondering what you all think of the color gray for craft room furniture. So I like how these are furniture pieces and not necessarily built-in cabinets. I think that is a little bit more interesting for some parts of the space, and I kept being drawn to gray. Normally I go with white. My current craft room has white furniture mixed with warm wood, but I thought gray might be an interesting change for some of the pieces. I love how you have the two sets here. So you have the top storage, the bottom storage, different lengths. Some of the limiting factors of this particular piece is that it doesn't have a lot of different holes where you can do the shelves at different heights. So you're pretty much stuck with the shelves that you got in there. I do like that there is an option for glass on the top. So these could kind of mix as display pieces and functional storage pieces. Plus on the top here, there are glass shelves with lights in here that you can add, which I think would add a lot of brightness to the space. It will be a basement. There is a large walkout sliding door, so there's light coming in that way. We've had recessed lighting put in the last year, so there is light that way, but any way that I can brighten up the space will be pretty important. I just kept finding myself drawn to these sliding doors into these large kind of armoire feeling pieces because I do think that they will have interest in the space. So it's definitely something I want to consider. All right, this is the Besta line. And with this line, you can kind of configure all of the different cabinets how you want. You can pick out all these different fronts. You can do shelves. What do you think about me designing my own kind of grouping of cabinetry? In my head, I will definitely have one wall that is full cabinets of some sort, probably a mixture of things that you can see through, things that you can't see through. And so this might be a good possibility. Most of the pieces are in these square shaped. I do like these narrower pieces. I think those are really interesting. And these are probably the doors that I would go with in this particular line. It is a white. So there wasn't really a nice gray option that I really liked. Of course, Billy bookcases are always a great option. I have one of these in my craft room right now. They're great because you can actually customize them really easily. So the backing, before you put it on, you can cover it with wallpaper. You have all of these options for adding as many shelves as you want and changing the height of the shelves. You can see there are several different finishes available and shelving types available, but these are highly customizable, which might be fun to add a fun pattern and pop. I'll be honest, I love IKEA kitchens. I love the function, I love the beauty, and this gray one has been in my IKEA since it opened, and I visit it every time. What would you think of using kitchen cabinetry in my craft room? Look how the drawers pull out all the way, and of course the soft close. I could configure it how I wanted it, so you wouldn't be able to change it once it's there, if that makes sense. So once I have those drawers, they'd be there, but I could design it in advance. There is an app on the IKEA website that allows you to design your kitchen and actually your living room and things like that. So I would be able to play with that. And I'm also wondering what you would do for the countertop. So this is like a granite looking countertop. Have you ever had granite in your creative space? What would you go with? I've never had granite. I've never had cabinetry like this. So it'd be interesting to see or to hear what your experience was and what you guys think I should go with for a countertop feel. Again, super drawn to the gray. I thought it was really pretty. I like this particular piece that's kind of resting on top of the cabinet. It's like a full length kind of wall cabinet, but it does rest on top. So it does cut off some workspace that you could have under there, but I like just a different configuration. I thought it was very interesting, and the drawers really functional just because they pull out all the way. This would be great for any sort of craft room. Now, the IKEA kitchen would be on the pricier side as compared to configuring my own Besta system or going with Alex drawers. They do have a beautiful white option, and it was just nice to see all the different possibilities. So I'll be interested to see what you guys think. Which one would you go with? So there's definitely a budget to keep in mind. So this would be very, very much at the top of the budget, and it might be that I couldn't complete it all at once, which could pose a problem, but it would definitely be my dream to have these custom type cabinets. And I just wanted to show you there's all kinds of finishes that you can get with the IKEA cabinets. I was leaning towards the gray, the medium gray. There is also a really light gray that you can choose from, and a few different versions of white. So just depending on how cool you want the white to be, they had a warm white, one that had a little bit more yellow to it, and then more of a pure white on the end. So it kind of just depended what your preference would be. Like I said, I want the space to feel bright, so white would definitely be a natural choice, but I like the warmness of the gray, so we'll see what I end up choosing. When you are designing a new space, you definitely want to keep storage in mind kind of first. And this will be the first time that I haven't designed a space just using pieces that I had in my house. My current craft room is kind of a collection of odds and ends that have come from different rooms. And this will be my first time designing from scratch and kind of getting to pick what I want. So I'm really, really excited. If you have seen my current craft room, you can check out a tour here on YouTube. I like to display a lot, meaning I like to display my art supplies because I find that they inspire me. These are some of those Besta cabinets I was pointing out earlier that have a really shallow depth that are fabulous for displaying, and then you have lots of options as far as shelving and things in there, including some glass shelves, which I thought were really nice, and you can definitely add lighting on the inside of here. So these are a great option for displaying items. I like changing around the displays in my creative space, so I thought these picture ledges would probably be great for my future craft room in that you can change what is on there. You can do art supplies, or you can do art that you've created, switch things up. Those can be kind of an ever-evolving area. All right, what do we think of open storage? Let me know below. These cubes are super popular, very popular at IKEA especially, and they're a great way to kind of mix and match what you're displaying as far as what's out. You can buy bins to cover up what you don't want to see. Let me know what you think of the open storage solution for displaying some of your supplies. And one thing I really did like, I was really drawn to glass doors. So I think that those will be a great way. I do like to see my supplies somewhat, but it would be great to protect them from dust and future clients getting into things that maybe they didn't need to get into. So I think glass doors might be a good solution. In my new craft room, I will definitely need a new workspace. So there were several different options I was checking out. I would love a desk that you can change the height of, but here is my dilemma. I like that the desk can go up and down. These are very pricey, so that's definitely a dilemma, but also there's no built-in storage, and I do prefer a desk that has some built-in storage with it, so I'm not quite sure what I would do with a desk that went up and down. I love the idea of having a craft desk and then a computer desk. And this is actually a sofa table that they used as a desk in one of the display areas. And I thought that was genius. So I work on a laptop. It would be fabulous to have a separate kind of smaller area where I could do office work, editing, things like that. That would be away from my regular craft supplies. I will also need a crafting desk and one that I could teach from. And these kitchen islands, I've been in love with them forever. I think they're so beautiful. Here are some in one of the display areas that they put together. I love that you have the shelving on one side. You could put a chair on one side or you could just stand. I think that these could be a really great option for a craft table that I could teach from and film from. Let me know what you think of the wooden top though. So right now I film with a butcher block top. I was considering going back to white, so let me know what you think. Here's another option, kind of a mobile craft station that I could use as a workspace. This one is cheaper. And then imagine if you could spray paint it and customize the top and get some really pretty pops of color in the craft space. I think that that would be awesome. And one last look at this beautiful kitchen island that I think would be a great craft table. I'm just wondering how I might be able to customize it, how I would be able to organize supplies easily to be able to get to them, what types of things I would put on top. Lots to think about. As I said before, one of the goals of moving my space is to create a larger space where I could teach classes to small groups of people, and that would be really exciting. But if I'm going to have people come in, they will definitely need seating, and so I'm trying to decide what type of seating would be the best for having a craft type party. I loved the aesthetic of this room. It was just very calming, and I liked this table here in the back with a couple of chairs. The only drawback is there's no storage right there, so you would definitely need some rolling carts that could be available, but I thought it was a really pretty table. I liked the white. I think that that is really nice. And again, the aesthetic of this room definitely drew me in. The way I see it, I have two options as far as seating for when I'm teaching classes. One would be a large communal table, or at least a couple of them, where people would all sit around the table. I'd have baskets on top with supplies, and then I would teach at a different table, and then they would be able to work. Or I could get tables like this. This is a collapsible table, which you'd have your own space to work, but I could put it away when I'm not teaching and have more space in the basement. This one has some built-in storage, and I feel like with the fact that the leaves come up, it kind of gives you some defined space, which I think is pretty appealing in a large craft room. I hope you enjoyed exploring IKEA with me and dreaming about some of the things that might be in my future craft space. As the new year comes and we start kind of making moves on that space, I'll give you a tour of what it looks like now and start discussing some of the renovations that we are going to make to kind of create my dream craft craft room. So let me know in the comments below, what did you like? What are your opinions? What do you think? I'd love to have your input. I'll link IKEA down below. I always love IKEA, so definitely check it out if you are redesigning your craft space. If you're organizing your craft space for the coming year, I do have a class all about creating your dream craft space, your dream creative space in whatever size space you have. So it doesn't matter if you have a whole basement or you just have one wall in your bedroom, I can help you get everything organized. So I'm going to link that particular class down below because it's really fabulous and I've had a lot of great feedback from it. So make sure to check that out. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you have a fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.